6. Now what is an interlude? Interlude is a time where John, he presses pause to explain some questions or to explain some scenario. Because why he presses pause here? Because the people ask the question, who is going to survive this wrath? So to answer this question, John presses pause for some time. Let's read that. Revelation chapter 7. I saw another angel coming from the east, carrying the seal of the living God. And he shouted to those 4 angels who had been given power to harm land and the sea. Wait, don't harm the land or the sea or the trees until we have placed the seal of God on the forehead of his servant. So as these people ask the question, who is going to survive this wrath? John explains here. John explained there will be one group. As the angel said here, wait, don't harm the land or the sea or the trees until we have placed the seal of God on the forehead of his servant. And the number is mentioned here, 144,000. So who are these 144,000? Hey, these are Jewish evangelists who is going to preach the gospel all over the world that time. So God said, let the seal be put on them so that nothing happens to them, so that they can boldly preach the gospel all over the world. Because everyone, we all are in the heaven. All the evangelists, all the church leaders, all the prophets of God, hey, they are in the heaven. But God is going to prepare this 144,000 Jewish evangelists. They will be there in the tribulation to preach the gospel all over the world. And there will be a second group. Let's read that. Revelation chapter 7, 9. And after this I saw a vast crowd, too great to count, from every nation and tribe and the people and the language, standing in front of the throne and before the Lamb. After this I saw a vast crowd. John saw a vast crowd. Hey, that's we are. That is talking about us. Because when the tribulation is on, we are in the heaven. Now we are still in the first 3.5 years of tribulation, that is the beginning of sorrows. So we focus on the first judgment, 7th seal judgment. Now comes the 7th trumpet judgment. And all these judgments are interconnected. When the Lamb broke the 7th seal on the scroll, there was a silence throughout the heaven for about half an hour. I saw the 7 angels who stand before God, and they were giving 7 trumpets. Now, the second type of judgment. Now, there were 7 angels, they were given 7 trumpets. Now, each angel, when he's going to blow the trumpet, you have the different punishment that will be inflicted on the earth from the heaven. Now, the first 4 trumpet judgment, it directly affects the earth, but it indirectly affects to mankind. And the 5th and 6th judgment, it directly affects the mankind. Let's see what happens when the first angel, when he blows the trumpet. The first angel, now we're in Revelation chapter 8, the first angel blew his trumpet, and hell and the fire mixed with blood were thrown down on the earth. 1/3 of the earth was set on the fire. 1/3 of the trees were burned, and all the green grass were burned. Just imagine, the 1/3 of the earth was set on the fire. The trees were burned, the green grass were burned. So naturally, all this thing is going to affect the economy that time, because 1/3 of your vegetation is gone, and people are going to suffer to eat the vegetables. Then the second angel blew his trumpet, and a great mountain of fire was thrown into the sea. Now John is saying a great mountain of fire was thrown into the sea. John is describing, but in today's language, that mountain must be a meteorite. And a great mountain of fire was thrown into the sea. 1/3 of the water in the sea became blood. Just imagine, now this meteorite, it falls on the sea. 1/3 of the water, the sea became blood. What happens when the sea becomes blood? 1/3 of all the things living in the sea, it died. And 1/3 of all the ships on the sea were destroyed. No fishes to eat. All the living in the sea died. And also the ships who were there, they were completely destroyed. That's what happened when the angel blew the second trumpet. Now let's see what happened when the angel blew the third trumpet. Revelation 8 and 9. We are in the Revelation chapter 8. Then the third angel blew his trumpet and a great star fell from the sky. It must be an asteroid or meteorite, burning like a torch. It fell on the 1/3 of the river and on the springs of water. The name of the star was bitterness. It made 1/3 of the water bitter, and many people died from drinking the bitter water. Now what happened here? 1/3 of the rivers and on the springs of water. So it means that 1/3 of the drinking water was affected. Now just imagine 1/3 of the drinking water all over the earth is affected. Is people will not find the water to drink. The water became bitter and people drank that water because there was no water. Many people died because of that. Let's see what happened when the fourth angel blew his trumpet. Then the fourth angel blew his trumpet and the 1/3 of the sun was struck, and 1/3 of the moon and 1/3 of the stars, and they became dark. Just imagine 1/3 of the sun getting dark, 1/3 of the moon getting dark. So it's going to affect the climate. And 1/3 of the day was dark and also 1/3 of the night. There will be a climate imbalance. Now, as I mentioned that the fifth and sixth trumpet judgment is going to affect mankind directly. Because what's going to happen that this time, demonic invasion unloosed. The demons in the form of locust, they will be released on the planet Earth. Let's see what happens. Then the fifth angel blew his trumpet, and I saw a star that had fallen to earth from the sky, and he was given the key to the shaft or the bottomless pit. He opened it. Smoke poured out as though from a huge furnace, and the sunlight and the air turned dark from the smoke. Then the locusts came from the smoke and descended on the earth. They were given power to sting like scorpions. They were not the normal locust. They were giving power to sting like the scorpions. So they were like scorpions. They had tails that stung like the scorpions. And for 5 months, they had the power to torment people. Just imagine all over the place you have this locust. Millions of locusts. They are not the ordinary locusts. They have the power to sting like scorpions. So they are going to make the people's life miserable for 5 months. Just imagine 5 months. They will be there to stun the mankind. Revelation 9. Let's see what happens when the sixth angel blew his trumpet. The sixth angel blew his trumpet, and I heard a voice speaking from the 4 horns of the golden altar that stands in the presence of God. And the voice said to the sixth angel who held the trumpet, "Release the 4 angels who are bound at the great Euphrates river." Then the 4 angels who had been prepared for this hour and day and month and years were turned loose to kill 1/3 of all the people on earth. Now this all happened in the Armageddon battle. Later on we'll study about that. Now let's read Revelation chapter 9, 20-21. We are still in the Revelation chapter 9, 20-21. But the people who did not die in these plagues still refused to repent of their evil deeds and turn to God. See, there were plagues, there were disease, there were wars, a lot of things happening. But still people refused to repent of the evil deeds and turn to God. They continued to worship demons and idols made of gold, silver, bronze, stone, and wood idols. They can neither see nor hear nor walk, and they did not repent of their murders or their witchcraft or their sexual immorality or their theft. So much of things are happening. People dying all over the world. Millions of people dying. But still people, they refuse to repent. They refuse to repent from their witchcraft. They refuse to repent from their murders. They refuse to repent from sexual immorality. They don't want to repent. They want to continue. They are ready to die in sin. Now let's read.